Right, friends, I've got a real treat for you today. I have here Patek Philippe steel watches. The book itself has been produced, photographed and curated by a man by the name of John Goldberger. Now, John Goldberger, for those of you that are unaware, he is a prolific collector of essentially Patek Philippe, Rolex, Longines and other brands, but he can be considered as almost like a scholarly collector of these timepieces and a real sort of a knowledge and a think tank for these actual brands and their history. The book itself is very heavy. It probably weighs around 3 to 4 kilos. We can see here really nicely sort of embossed and printed on there in silver the title, and it says there Patek Philippe steel watches. It's got the gold Patek Philippe Calatrava cross logo there, and what I really love about this piece is that it harks back to the Patek Philippe Nautilus boxes, okay, the Nautilus watches used to come in, and they were made of cork, and that cork has been replicated here as well on the book, so I really love that touch. What's also really nice here is if you have a look at the book very carefully, the pages are on the edge. I don't know exactly what the manufacturing technique is, but they are sort of like silver lined, okay, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous, and when you catch it in the light, so a really nice piece here. Okay, so I'll just pop it down, and then I'm going to go through the actual watches that are of considerable interest to me. Okay, now before I sort of do that, what's also nice is that on the inside page we have this sort of like almost engine turned look that you get to a lot of Swiss watches, and he has really sort of replicated that here as well. So if we go straight into it, the actual book itself. Now, one thing also that I forgot to mention was that this is piece 133, and it has actually been signed there by John Goldberger. This particular book, I think you can expect to pay between anything from $600 to $800 now. Okay, so if we go straight into it, what's really nice is it touches on the history of Patek Philippe from its inception, you know, over a century ago, to the new ownership of the actual, I say new ownership, but ownership in the sort of the early parts of the 20th century by the Stern family. Okay, so it's got all of that history there. What's also really nice is it's got a really great timeline of all of their watches throughout the actual years, and that's quite nice to sort of see it. The other thing that you get with the watch is a poster. Okay, so we got a poster there, and then that opens up to like an A1 size. Okay, and you can stick that on your wall if you so desire. Now, the book itself is separated into different sort of sections. So here we've got some almost you know, very un-Patek Philippe materials that have been utilized in what is a table clock, and this dates from the or the late 30s, and it's really nice because it's got that Art Deco face to it, and just the use of wood with the actual silver itself is just a gorgeous piece and would look absolutely amazing on any office desk. The next piece that I've chosen, and again, I've not chosen this because of their values or because that they are, you know, inherently really valuable. I've actually chosen these just purely down to my taste and for their sort of quirky factor as well. This is quite nice, again, sort of like a desk piece, and I think this dates from around the 40s or the 50s, I believe. And you know, it's really nice because of the use of materials, and just the dial layout is just absolutely simplistic and just gorgeous. Okay, so the next one that I have here, so now we go into the more sort of wristwatches here, and I chose this one because of the crown at the 12 o'clock position. And these sort of the lugs that we have here, sort of normally Patek do sort of these teardrop lugs that you sort of see really sort of shaped and contoured, but this one is really sort of quite angular, and just the positioning of that crown quite sort of unique there. If we move forward to the next page, again I chose this one just again because of the simplistic nature of the piece itself. The dial layout very clean, it's got a really gorgeous silhouette to it, and the Art Deco nature of the actual design and manufacturing there, and quite a slim piece as well. If we move forward, this one dates from around the 1960s, and it's got this sort of tonneau shape, and this really sort of influenced a whole range of dive watches around that time as well. So it's really nice to see or delve into the archives of Patek and see all the sort of different case shapes that they have actually sort of come out with. Again, quite a nice sort of very simplistic dial layout again here. So quite a nice piece there as well. Okay, now if we fast forward to around 2010, we've got this piece, and I chose it purely because of its slender nature. It's actually a double split chronograph, and what's actually quite nice is the actual Art Nouveau-esque, if you like, the decoration that's sort of gone around there. Usually with most chronographs, you will actually find them very sort of logically laid out with minimal amounts of sort of, you know, artistic detailing. So it was quite nice to actually see that on this piece. And I really loved the sort of the grade hands there as well. So again, a really nice sort of, you know, non-conventional piece there, and you can see the movement here, just the sheer number of pieces and the work that's actually gone into it. Okay, so a really gorgeous piece. Most Pateks, from what I've seen, they're usually on a strap. Okay, so like a leather, a really high quality leather strap. It's quite nice to see this on a Milanese mesh here, and the black against the silver, a quite simplistic dial layout. I just think it really pops, and you know, ultimately really legible, and you just look at the way that it's actually sort of been done, really sort of a timeless piece. And on the back there, again, quite unusual, on the case back there we've got the rather large Calatrava cross logo that Patek uses, so there on the back, and this piece dates from the late 50s. If we move forward, I chose this one again because of the actual metal strap, just the sheer engineering that's actually gone into all of these, and you can imagine the amount of work that has gone into this. And I believe this one was for the Japanese market, and again, quite a nice, bold, distinctive case design with sort of beveling around the edges, and really sort of typical of what was coming out during the 1970s in terms of watch design. The next page we go into, or this section really goes into, the Nautilus, and I suppose this is really what Patek nowadays is really known for, and I just absolutely love the shape of this piece, a classic Gerald Magenta design, which is absolutely timeless, and you know, goes with the whole sort of Audemars Piguet, the Royal Oak theme there. And again, we can see here the original boxes that came with the Nautilus were in these cork boxes, and that's the design touch that's been replicated here in this book. And if we move forward now, we can actually see a lot of the detailing here now to the actual Nautilus. And if we have a look at the actual dial, the legibility of the actual dial itself, and the work that has gone into the sort of the banding and the striping on the dial. We've got, I believe, some very fine rubies here that's been used within the power reserve, and you know, a calendar here that's been used within the actual movement. So again, a really gorgeous piece, and no doubt quite expensive at the same time. I liked this one as well because the styling here of the crown, okay, harks back or is really a nod to Carl Fabergé and the work that he did as a top jewellery designer and silversmith in Russia. So I really like this piece and just the detail that's gone into the actual bracelet. So again, you know, quite a stylized piece from Patek, and you don't really sort of see this so often, but obviously within their archives you will do. The other pages that I've chosen is really, you know, a section on some of the accessories, the straps, the bands that really highlight the details to do with Patek and all of the other components that Patek is so well renowned for, and this book really covers it in its entirety. So, you know, please do, if you can, try and get hold of this book. It is becoming increasingly rare to find. You know, it goes up to about 500 pages and it's literally one you can pore over, with fantastic photography, really good detailed analysis of the product, the history as well, fantastically researched and presented. Friends, are you enjoying the video so far? If so, please consider liking and subscribing, and please let me know if there's anything I can improve for your viewing content.